Tesla continues to surge this morning, continuing to move up. It was up 3%, now just a little over 2%. We'll check on that later. Of course, yesterday I listed 10 reasons why this bounced at this time. And for those of you who missed it, I'll quickly list those again. We'll spend a minute on the nonsense about Elon and his issues with ketamine. I think we just have to talk about it. Of course, I'll speculate on whether the market is back in bull mode and what that means for Tesla in the days and weeks ahead. This is Randy Kirk. If you like the morning show, hit like even before you hear it. If you want to wait till later, that's fine too. Anyway, hit subscribe and notify. I've got an amazing show coming up with his name is Brian White later today. You don't want to miss that, so hit notify. And of course, join Patreon if you're getting some value out of this show and would like to help produce it. Hit Patreon. That be in the information below. All right, let's go. The market is up again this morning. At least the NASDAQ and the S&P. The Dow is not up. This is not unusual for the last few months, actually all year, with several headlines claiming it's because the 10-year yields are falling. Well, maybe I missed it. I got up really, really early, but they were only modestly down when I got up this morning, and now they're up, and the 2-year and the 2-month are up even more, widening the inversion. So no, I don't buy it. It should be hurting the NASDAQ this morning, but it isn't. Okay, oil is down a little bit, getting closer to 80. So that's off its highs around 84. That might be helping a bit. The Nvidia madness continues. This is probably the biggest story of the week. It is now overblown at this point, in my humble opinion. And this could be something that will hurt the market later. Not because Nvidia is going to miss, not because it won't be as big as everybody's hoping for this week. It's because it's overblown generally. Nvidia is not the bellwether for the entire AI movement. I don't know where people are getting the idea, and there's just a little madness going on in that particular area right now. American workers want higher than ever salaries, according to the Fed. Folks are looking for 78,645 during the second quarter of 2023 to change jobs. So they want 78. That would be just under $40 an hour. That is up from 69,000 or $35 an hour in the last quarter. Last year. So that's a year over year, up 14%. Well, that's interesting that they want that much. Maybe they can get it. I'm not sure. All right. The trueflation this morning, speaking of inflation, the trueflation number this morning is at 2.69. That's the same as it was yesterday. I would expect to see that falling back down a bit over time. 3 banks were downgraded by Moody's today. They were downgraded 1 notch. Banking bad news. That also might be hurting the Dow. Not sure why the Dow and the NASDAQ have been completely disengaged all year long. The NASDAQ commonly up when the Dow is down. But that could be part of the reason would be the banking sector. Cybertrucks appear to be being made at about 11 per day. This could mean that the 2,000 for 2023 is almost a deadlock. In fact, it could be a lot more than 2,000 for the rest of this year. So that's an interesting thing. And that could obviously help stimulate the entire Tesla story. If there's going to be say 5,000 built this year and having a great start for the beginning of 2024, that would tend to help with the narrative with regard to how easy the ramp might go. Anyway, just one data point, just for now. We'll see what happens. Why are the Cybertrucks being shipped all over the United States? I can't quite figure this out. Could it have something to do with the launch? Could it have something to do with some special thing that they're going to do? I don't know, but it's kind of fun to watch. They're getting shipped all over the country every day. They make 9, 10, 11, whatever, and they get shipped out to various places. Lots of rumors around Highland, including that they will have a base price of $27,000 in China. That would dramatically increase the TAM in China, since they're around 32,000 now, and might increase the wait times. Of course, initial production is likely to be the more expensive versions. Anyway, too short to know any of that for sure, but those rumors continue to be out there a lot. Okay, remember those 10 reasons yesterday? I'm just going to go over those really, really quickly. Kevin O'Leary, that story continues to be out there. I see it over and over now. Talked about his 1,000% gain on Tesla because his son explained to him the facts about Tesla 4 years ago. That was all over the internet yesterday. Number 9, over over 100 Highlands sitting under wraps in Shanghai. I think it's 180. Could be more today, sitting under wraps in Shanghai. Number 8, video team shooting Cybertruck in the wild, suggesting some kind of an ad might be being prepared. Number 7, lots of trucks carrying Cybertrucks all over the US. Number 6, NASDAQ charged up about Nvidia. So the narrative is moving all of tech, including Tesla. Number 5, what I call itchy fingers. $5.6 trillion sitting on the sideline in money markets that could anytime come over and start buying up bonds and buying up equities, which would both work towards increasing the stock market generally, as well as Tesla specifically. Guru Focus coming out yesterday and saying that they believe the Tesla stock right now is worth $453. Number 3, completely oversold on the China price cuts. All the stuff with regard to China last week, I believe, was, again, the stock market getting too excited, hyperventilating about one issue. So the China issue kind of went away over the weekend. People relaxed about it. There were no more price cuts from Tesla. That probably was a significant impact. Number 2, Baird commenting yesterday, saying that they were putting Tesla on their top, their list of best ideas. And that has been talked about all kinds of headlines about that in Barron's and everywhere else. And then number 1, this was for fun, I suppose. Somebody knows something about Highland or Cybertruck, and people are getting in. Could be, I'm not a conspiracy guy, although I certainly know these kind of things happen. But I do believe that this is a run up to Cybertruck and or Highland being released. So we've got people that are, front running that. Okay, add to that list, to add to my 10 list, China vehicle sales were excellent again this week. Last week, estimates from industry watchers indicating the electric vehicle maker received 13,900 insurance registrations in the week ending August 20th. That is a very good number, especially when you consider this is the time of the month when you're expecting those to be more in the export. And now the domestic market is generally where we're going to be going from here. So these are very good numbers, and I'm still waiting for the shutdown of that facility causing numbers to go down. That doesn't seem to be happening. Okay, Motley Fool. I don't usually pay any attention to Motley Fool. I think they're a scam. But did I say that out loud? I hope I don't get sued. Okay, they say Tesla can easily get back to 300 based on 3 catalysts, the Cybertruck, FSD, and energy. 2 of those are already in play, I say, but I don't think they need FSD to get back to 300. We'll talk about that in a minute. Barron's, as I mentioned, points to the Ben Callow of Baird decision. I keep seeing this all over the place. I don't think one analyst can move the market 15 points yesterday, move Tesla 15 points yesterday and another 6 to 9 this morning. I think people are over exuberant again this week, and I worry that the market will get way out ahead of its skis, and we'll see even if the Fed doesn't say anything negative over the next few days, we'll still see a fall off after the Nvidia print on Wednesday night. Okay, Elon Musk is reportedly using ketamine for depression. Let's talk about this for just a couple of seconds. The headlines are now turning to lots of headlines on his use of ketamine for depression. Some of his associates have apparently told somebody in the press that they are worried about his increasing use of ketamine. First of all, ketamine can be legally used in medical practice. The FDA has approved ketamine nasal spray for treatment-resistant depression. So in other words, you've been taking other antidepressants, they're not working, so this is a way to get even better. But what we're looking at ketamine as is something that actually cures depression rather than just treating it for a while. It can be used in combination with other oral drugs. It can be used by itself. It can be used as this nose spray. It can also be used as an injection. Ketamine is useful in combination. I just said that. Many current studies underway, but one such study found that 50% of those in the trial had complete remission from depression. Elon has stated in the past he does not do drugs, regardless of what happened on Rogan, and he rarely drinks alcohol, occasional glass of wine. He is careful about this aspect of his life. It is very doubtful that he is abusing this drug. However, people can, end up abusing when they don't even know they're abusing. But I felt that I should bring this up fully because there's a lot of headlines out there about it right now. And, I want to make sure that you're aware of the details around this. We don't know, of course, how much he's using or why his friends are worried, but there you go. Anyway, what happens today and moving forward? Unless the Fed messes up things this week, Tesla could just as easily retrace all the way to 300. Remember, it dropped from 300 to 217, 216, 215. I mean, it was 212 on the intraday, but I think the lowest close was around just under 216. It did all of that in like 3 weeks. It can go all the way back to 300 in 3 weeks or even less, but it might need some help, as I mentioned earlier, from the PCE print next Thursday. The market could easily hold its breath midweek next week because of the waiting for that PCE print. We've got a couple of Fed folks out this morning giving speeches. One of them is Goolsbee. He's a dove, so that's unlikely unless he says something hawkish that could hurt today. But we'll see what goes on with that. When the Cybertruck is announced, unless there's a surprise, there could be a sell on the news depending on where we are. The closer we are to 300, the more likely that there could be a sell on the news when they announce the date of the handover or whatever they're going to announce. But if there's some extra thrown in, some surprise that's thrown in, then the market could go past 300 pretty easily. If no negatives and the handover results in, if the handover goes well, I certainly expect us to start heading towards 350. Market is same story for the market, all about the Fed and all about the PCE next week, as it is also retracing this kind of stupid sell-off last week. You could say it got overextended. You could just say that it was a very, very nice run up and it needed to pause. I do believe we are heading into the second leg of the bull as long as interest and inflation continue to be okay. Let's look at the numbers as they stand right now. We have got Tesla going back up again. It's now up 7. We've got the NASDAQ still doing well, up 54. The Dow still down 37. S&P up 8. Let's look at the other stuff. Oh, I always like to look at the Cathie Woods. Cathie Woods are generally up or neutral. Yeah, pretty much across the board. Square's up. I mean, Square's down and PayPal's up. That's unusual. They usually kind of fly together. All right, let's take a look at, let's look at the rest of these. What we've got is cryptos still over 26. The 26 barrier is getting hard to break. We'll see what happens on that, but it's definitely not doing that well. The dollar is fading just a little bit this morning. Gold is down, but also it's hanging in there around 1920. Oil is up a tiny bit, but holding there under 81, sitting at 80.73. Bonds are now up fairly strongly on the 10-year, and on the 2-month now is fading a little, and the 2-year though still up strong, even stronger. So that the inversion unfortunately continues to be a problem. Okay, there you go. If you haven't liked yet, this would be the time to do that. If you hasn't ever subscribed, why not? Hit the notified. All those things help the algorithm. If you can't afford to be a producer, help me out with the likes and the notifies and all that kind of stuff, because that just means more people see it. If more people see it, guess what? I get paid more and you've helped. All right. So those are things you can do. Later on today with Brian White, lots of other shows in the plans. I've got some very, very cool ideas I think you're going to like. Anyway, oh yeah, join Patreon, of course. And that's all I got for you. And it's been great talking to you.